to my channel. I realized that I am not in the middle of the frame, that the sun is very bright and I can't sit here. Well, I could, just can't see anything. I realized that I work in a restaurant and customers can be very, very nice, and they can also be a pain in the ass. So I have some stories from both me and the people I work with that I thought that I would share with you. Share with you. So yeah, and I know I could make a TikTok of it, but when I tell a story I tend to tell too much unnecessary information, or like information that I think is necessary for the story to make sense. That probably isn't that necessary, but I tend to take my sweet time with the story, so I was like, yeah, let's do a YouTube video then, because I can take however I want, however long I want, and it will be fine. It will just be a pain in my own ass when I need to fix it. There was one day when I came to work and I worked alone, and we had lunch had just ended, and two customers came in and they were like, yeah, we're gonna eat. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I took the menus and I was like, oh yeah, you can come with me. And I was on my way to leave them for a few minutes to look at the menu, because there's no reason for me to stare at them while they read the menu. So I was about to turn around and I hear her saying like, excuse me, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I turned around again and I'm like, yeah, what is it, or how can I help you, or something like that. And she was like, yeah, what do you have on your menu? You mean the menu that I just placed in front of you when you sat down? And my head goes blank, because I know what we got on our menu, but that was a question that I never anticipated to get, so I got so confused and so shocked that I just forgot everything on our menu. So I was like, we have burgers, a few different ones, and we have meat, and we have a salmon, and what do we have more? So I was trying to like remember what our menu said, and she was like, yeah, on this specific burger, well, what is it? And I was like, I actually had to pick up one of the menus, because I was like, yeah, I know roughly what's in every burger, but every specific burger obviously has something, a specific ingredients, or maybe one maybe have tomatoes and one doesn't, or one have cucumber instead of salad, and those few things I can't really tell you, but I can read it. So I was like, I picked up the menu and read it for her, and she was like, yeah, I don't know, what do you have more? You can look at the menu. We're in Sweden, so every story I will tell you, I will translate in my head to English, but the menu is in Swedish. And even if you can't read English when you're a Swede, like when you're maybe in your 50s and upwards, yeah, maybe more 60s and upwards, I don't expect you to be able to read English that well, because that wasn't something you had to learn in school. But nowadays, a younger audience or a younger customer will be able to read English quite well, at least. They will be able to understand it, even if they don't understand the most specific thing. So, just in general, they know what things are. But the menu is in Swedish, and I know that we have learned to read Swedish for a really long time now. Are you seriously asking me what's on the menu that is right in front of you? Okay then. Good to know. Okay, so this next story is more story. Yeah, take everything I say with a just grain of salt, because even if that's how I feel, when you tell a story, you always make it with a little bit more color. But yeah, so this next story is customers that just wants to complain about something, even if there's nothing to complain about. So for example, if you work in a fast food restaurant, maybe McDonald's, Mac's, Burger King, or so on and so forth, the food won't always be fresh hot from the stove, because when you, for example, feed 200 people in an hour, you just make burgers. You just make them, and as fast as you can, and some of them maybe not get sold before like 15 minutes has passed because no one ordered that specific hamburger, but since there's so many, the likelihood that that burger will be sold is very high, so you make a lot. The same thing with fries. When you have a bunch of people that you're going to feed at the same time, you just make a lot of fries. So the ones that get served 20 minutes after the fries is done is maybe not the hottest fries you have ever eaten. But when you go to a restaurant that isn't a fast food restaurant but a restaurant, the food needs to be warm. Otherwise, you should send it back. You know, there's a lot of legit reasons to complain. For example, that the food was too salty, the bowling didn't work, the music is too loud, so they complain about that and ask you to lower it or to change the channel, or there's a lot of legit reasons to be unpleased with your visit. But this one, I think, is not. So, you get a lot of complaints. Most of them very legit, acceptable, and you get it. But this one is from customers that didn't find anything else to complain about. So, you put people down at the table, you wait a couple minutes, ask if they want to order, you take their order, put it in, and then you bring the food out. When you brought the food out, you maybe give them 10 to 15 minutes, and then you pass them again and ask, how did the food taste? And mostly you get, yeah, it was good, or yeah, it could have been better, or something like that. But the comment that you just say because you don't have anything else to complain about is, yeah, it was good, but the food was a little bit too hot when it came. You seriously complained about that the food was too hot when we delivered it? For me, that would just tell me that the food was fresh and that it was made like 2 seconds ago. Because our fries, you know, when you work in the restaurant, you get food from the restaurant. Like, you get a meal. And if you eat the fries straight out of the fryer when they're freshly made, I can't hold them because it's so freaking hot. But that also tells me that they're freshly made, that they're just made and couldn't be better. But the customers are legit like, yeah, it was too hot, you know, I just couldn't wait 30 seconds to eat them. That is for me just something you says because you don't have anything else to complain about. And I'm sorry, but it must be so tiring being that kind of person. Always and constantly looking for something to be disappointed at. I don't get it. Wouldn't it be less of a pain in the ass to look for things that were good? Because like I said, there are legit reasons to complain. But that sort of comment is like, you are only looking for something to complain about, not because you legit have something to complain about. Okay, so the third story. In the restaurant I work in, we have a bowling alley. We have like 5 lanes, I think. And when something goes wrong in the bowling alley, we don't always know how to fix it. And of course, we are very annoyed by that because we can't help the people that have paid to be bowling, and of course they get their money back if we can't fix it or something, or they get a little bit more time or something like that. Most oftenly you can come to an understanding. But for like 2 weeks, I think, our lights in the bowling alley didn't work. I couldn't turn them on. They were broken. And there was nothing I could do because I don't know what to do about lights that are fixed in the ceiling and that I can't change the light bulbs on. There's nothing, literally nothing I can do about that. And yeah, we had to apologize a lot those 2 weeks to customers that came in and they complained about that they couldn't see or it was too dark or something like that. And we were like, yeah, I'm very sorry, but I can't turn the lights on because they're broken and I can't fix it, I'm sorry. So it's this pack of boys that comes in. They may be 4 or 5 people. Comes in, they go up, they start bowling, and one of them comes down like 10 minutes later, and we're about to close, so I'm cleaning a table and trying to fix everything so that we can close as soon as they go. So he comes down to me and he's like, excuse me. I'm like, yeah, can you turn on the lights in the bowling alley? Now I've gotten this question like 200 times, so I'm like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't, they're broken. So can you turn on the lights in the bowling alley? No, they're broken. I cannot turn them on. Oh, okay. So can you somehow make it lighter in the bowling alley? It's very dark. At this point, I'm like, am I understanding the question wrong? Because I've answered it twice now, and the first 2 times I asked it, it was the exact same question. And the 3rd time you just put it in another way, but it's still the same question. And the answer will still be the same, even if you ask me the same question 10 times. I will not be able to turn on the lights because they're broken. So he finally accepted my answer and was like, oh yeah, but I don't think we want to bowl then. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, that's fine. We can just do a payback and I'll be fine. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. So he goes up, talks to his friends, and when he goes up, he meets my colleague. And apparently he asks her the same thing. If she can perhaps turn on the lights in the bowling alley. And she of course answers the same thing, because I didn't say no, because I didn't want to bother going up the stairs. I said no because they're broken, and I explained that they were broken. But he was like, yeah, she probably just don't want to go up the stairs, can't be bothered to do that, so if I ask another colleague, she will probably be able to turn on the lights. No. Because they're broken. Hi, I'm back. I have now been away for 2 hours maybe, and now I can actually see what I'm doing in my camera, and I should probably film everything again because it's better lighting, but I won't. So I think that will be everything for this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!